The verdict in the Babri Masjid demolition case is out and all the accused have been acquitted in this case. Now, this is a massive judgment and like we were telling you earlier, this does not change much on the ground as far as the Ayodhya main Ram Janmabhoomi is concerned. But this is a key verdict. All the accused have been acquitted in this case. All accused in Babri Masjid demolition case except L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Kalyan Singh Uma Bharti and Satish Pradhan and Mahant Nritya Gopal Das were in the Special CBI court, and we are getting the news that all the accused have been acquitted in this case. Now, what we are also learning from our sources is that the judge ruled that the incident was not pre-planned, evidence not strong enough, observes the judge, and he read out this judgment as L.K. Advani and M.M. Joshi, senior leaders of the BJP, were all acquitted in this case. And we will be shortly joined by WION's political editor, Karthike Sharma, for more updates. Karthike, over to you. This is a massive judgment for senior leaders of the ruling BJP.
It's a very important development which has taken place. The news which is pouring in right now is that the judge has said that it was not a pre-planned event. It was not pre-planned, one. Secondly, what we have come to know is that all the accused have been acquitted. Thirdly, what we have come to know that it's a 2,000-page order which is being read by the judge. Most important is that it now closes the case unless and until the investigative agency goes to the High Court and appeals against the verdict. It is a victory for L.K. Advani, the former Deputy Prime Minister of India. It is a victory for Murli Manohar Joshi and other people. So it's a very important very important development which has taken place, and all the accused have been acquitted by the Special CBI court. You know, I'm giving you these details, Shobit, because that's the nature of the court which has pronounced the verdict. Reading the operative part of the verdict, the judge had said, Shobit, that the demolition was not pre-planned, premeditated. The court also observed that evidence against the accused were not strong enough and Babri Mosque demolition was not pre-planned. Now, L.K. Advani and other people were not present in the court because of the age and the COVID-19 situation which has prevailed. So this is a very, very important development which has taken place. So all 32 accused have been acquitted.
Right.
Now, this case, which started in 1993, has taken more than 27 years to come to a conclusion.
Right.
And just to bring it to the notice of a wider audience, Shobit, earlier the charges against Murli Manohar Joshi and L.K. Advani were dropped, the conspiracy charges, but then subsequently when the matter went to the higher court, those charges were added again. Then the matter went down to the Supreme Court and all the other FIRs were clubbed together because some FIRs were being dealt in the initial part of the investigation by the Uttar Pradesh police, which is the largest state in India, and the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is almost like FBI, India's FBI. And then all the cases came together and then again went down to the CBI Special Court, which has pronounced this judgment. So it's more than 2 decades,
Absolutely.
More than 25 years.
It's been a long wait for this verdict, isn't it, Karthike? Do tell us, what is the significance, what is the social impact of this judgment going to be?
I think the social, I would not like to be, I would like to comment on the nature of the judgment, but the impact is going to be tremendous because anyhow that the order by the Supreme Court on Ram Temple has come. The order located the primacy of argument through faith. It said that the importance of a prayer and a place is not interlinked in Islam, but specific to the case of Hindu religion and Lord Ram's birth and its birthplace, the place in itself becomes sacred, and that those sentiments need to be respected. And and this is not the first time the order of or the logic of faith was considered. During UPA 1, when there was a proposal to dredge Adams Bill, which in India is also called Ram Setu, was taken, and DMK was in power in Tamil Nadu, affidavit had gone that Ram was a mythical figure, and then it was withdrawn by then when Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, and it was said in the second affidavit that the Ram is not a mythical figure. He walked on earth. He is a belief, and Ram cannot be categorized, and the government apologized. So on that merit, the verdict on the temple building had already come.
Right.
Now, this was a case, Shobhit, on the demolition as to how Babri Masjid was demolished, but there's a little backgrounder to it. Kalyan Singh was the chief minister. Kalyan Singh had actually assured the court and the central government that he would ensure that the structure will not come down. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the prime minister at that point of time. In number of committees, when S.R. Chavan was the home minister, number of times the assurance from Kalyan Singh was sought, and Kalyan Singh reportedly said that he will ensure that nothing happens. And despite that, the demolition took place. And for the benefit of our viewers, all the three governments of Bharatiya Janata Party then, they were dismissed. The UP government was dismissed. The fresh elections were called, and in fresh elections, BJP lost majority. So it's a long political and legal journey for this case in the country.
Right.
I would say that it will open a lot of debate. The matter will not rest here. The matter will definitely go to High Court and Supreme Court. It will need a resolution from the highest of the courts. I distinctly remember covering the High Court verdict on Ayodhya, which was rejected by both sides. And if you remember, the matter had to go to Supreme Court, and then even the bench was increased. So I think this matter still has legal life. It is going to course through its way from High Court to the Supreme Court, Shobhit.
Right. In fact, that was going to be my next question. So all the accused have been acquitted, as the court observes that the incident or the demolition of the Babri Masjid was not pre-planned. It's not a criminal conspiracy. So my next question to you, Karthikeya, is it the end of the legal battle?
I would say so, because let me narrate you certain observations which had come. This judgment has been delivered by Judge S.K. Yadav. It is going to be a historic judgment, and the judge is also going to be, remembered for this verdict. Judge says, not strong evidence. So basically, he has said that the Central Bureau of Investigation or the investigative agency has not provided strong evidence. Then the judge also said that the leaders tried to stop the mob. So the judge is saying in his order that the leaders tried to stop the mob, and he also said that since it was not strong enough, how can you convict the people? Which means that the judge is saying that the perception of demolition and the presence of the leaders there...
Hold on, just hold on. We are dipping into live visuals we're getting from the Supreme Court.
पूरे भीड़ को कारसेवक कहना यह श्रद्धालुओं के लिए ठीक नहीं है। वहां अधिकांश मात्रा में श्रद्धालु भी थे और कुछ ऐसे तत्व भी आ गए थे जो असामाजिक थे, और वो इन आरोपियों के किसी भी प्रकार से उनके बीच में कोई अलायंस था, ऐसी कोई साक्ष्य नहीं मिली। वो मंच से लगातार जो भी नेतागण थे, साधु थे, संत थे, वो सभी महानुभाव मंच से लगातार ये प्रयास कर रहे थे कि किसी प्रकार की तोड़फोड़ की घटना यहाँ कारित न की जाए और शांति व्यवस्था बनाई रखी जाए, सांकेतिक कार सेवा की जाए, शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के निर्देश और आदेशों का पूर्णतः पालन किया जाए। इस प्रकार का न्यायालय ने उद्घाटित किया और यह सही पाया कि किसी भी तरह से किसी भी आरोपित व्यक्ति ने किसी व्यक्ति को नहीं उकसाया था। विवादित ढांचे को गिराने का कोई भी प्रयास आरोपित व्यक्तियों द्वारा नहीं किया गया। ये पूर्ण रूप से आरोप गलत पाए गए और सभी आरोपित को दोष मुक्त किया गया। साजिश के विषय में यह स्पष्ट कर दिया है न्यायालय ने कि रामलला की मूर्तियां वही रखी हुई थी तीसरे गुंबद के नीचे गर्भगृह में, और यदि कोई इस प्रकार का षड्यंत्र आरोपित व्यक्तियों द्वारा लगाया गया होता तो निश्चित रूप से रामलला की उन मूर्तियों को पूर्व में ही हटा लिया गया होता। और वो मूर्तियां अचानक, ये सीबीआई का साक्षी कहता है, वो जो पुजारी हैं वो स्वयं कहते हैं कि हमने अचानक जब तीसरा गुंबद गिरने लगा तो रामलला की उन मूर्तियों को बचा लिया। ये क्या इंगित करता है? ये इंगित करता है कि पहले से कोई योजना नहीं थी, और जो लोग तीसरे गुंबद को गिरा रहे थे वो दो कारणों से गिरा सकते हैं। या तो उनको रामलला पे कोई आस्था नहीं थी, और या उनको अनुमान नहीं था कि ये तीसरे गुंबद के नीचे, गर्भगृह के नीचे रामलला की मूर्तियां विराजमान है। ये कौन हो सकता है? ये कौन तत्व हो सकते हैं? न्यायालय ने यह भी उद्घाटित किया कि LIU की रिपोर्ट पूर्व से थी कि 1 दिसंबर से ही वहां पे कुछ उपद्रव होने की, अशांति पैदा करने की संभावनाएं, उनसे इनकार नहीं किया जा सकता। LIU की रिपोर्ट, IG AK सरन का स्टेटमेंट, वो ये बताता है कि IB और ये LIU इस प्रकार की रिपोर्ट थी, कोई भी अराजक तत्व वहां पे कार सेवकों के भेष में कोई भी घटना कारित कर सकता है। तो ये साबित नहीं हो सका कि जो कुछ मुट्ठी भर लोग ढांचे को ध्वंस करने के लिए आगे आए, उनका किसी प्रकार से संगठन, विश्व हिंदू परिषद या किसी नेता से या किसी आरोपी से, किसी साधु संत से किसी प्रकार का कोई संबंध पूर्व से था। इस प्रकार का कोई
और आगे लाओ आइडिया
नहीं, ये विषय रथ यात्रा का नहीं था। ये आरोप था विवादित ढांचे को गिराने के लिए उकसाने का। आरोप के दृष्टि से आरोप साबित नहीं हुआ,
पूरा आरोप से मुक्त कर दिया गया।
मुक्त कर दिया गया।
सर, CBI जो है प्रमुख जो है जांच एजेंसी है भारत की, क्या इनको ये समझ में नहीं आया कि हम जो है साक्ष्य जो रख रहे हैं?
CBI साक्ष्य नहीं रखती है, CBI साक्षी रखती है। साक्षी रख रहा है। CBI की जिम्मेदारी सिर्फ साक्षी लाने की है। साक्ष्य लाना साक्षी का काम है न्यायालय में। साक्षी जो कहेगा वो स्वतंत्र है।
All right, that was live reaction coming from one of the lawyers from the Special CBI court in Lucknow. The judgment is just out. All the accused have been acquitted, and it comes as a major relief for senior BJP leaders like LK Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi, among others, Uma Bharti included. Now, all of them have been acquitted. The court has observed that the leaders, in fact, tried to stop the mob, and that the incident was not premeditated. Kartikeya Sharma, WION's political editor, continues to be live with us. Kartikeya, we were just discussing before that reaction. Is this the end of the legal battle?
No, I don't think it's the end of the legal battle. The matter is going to go to the High Court. In all probability, the investigative agency is going to appeal against it because there are a number of legal issues there. See, Shobit, we have to understand that the structure was brought down. So to say that, yes, there is not enough legal evidence against Lal Krishna Advani or Murli Manohar Joshi is one thing. But then how were the barricades broken? Who was responsible? Did police do a responsible job? Who was the person who was leading the mob? Because it's not as if there was no intelligence. Number of time PV Narasimha Rao was speaking to Kalyan Singh. Then Home Minister Mr. Chavan was speaking to other people. There was a report by the Cabinet Secretary. So there are a number of historical evidences. Now this is about individual people being asked whether are you responsible. So the court, in all its wisdom, has ruled that LK Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, they are not responsible because the evidence is weak. They also feel that it was not pre-planned, which means that there was an element of spontaneity at that point of time. But then you have a different perspective. The people who want certain people who actually aroused the mob and allowed them to break the barricades, come inside the place where, you know, the central government has barricaded and break the structure. So, you know, these are the issues which will be resolved at the higher levels of the judiciary. But then it is not going to be resolved immediately because it's also a political matter there is already a judgment on the Babri Masjid. So, you know, the case has ended technically in the sense that you're going to have a temple in next 1 year. But the larger issue is, which continues to engage India's civil society, which is who broke that? Who allowed it? Are people only responsible if they are on ground and actually asking people to break a structure? Or if you are ideological fountainhead of a movement, are you also responsible? You know, these are the arguments which will be made in High Court and Supreme Court. So it's a complex issue. It's not going to die a quick legal death. It is going to have its place in the Indian politics for a number of years. There are other details which we are going to share with our viewers. It's a 2,000-page order. So we are going to bit by bit bring that out, a sort of a factual reportage of as to what the judge said. And interestingly, the judge was supposed to retire in 2019, but he was actually given an extension because government felt that this episode should also come to an end, at least legally, if some resolution in terms of memory has to take place.
Karthikeya Sharma, thank you so much for getting us all the details on this massive breaking news. This judgment comes as a huge relief for senior BJP leaders involved. However, it does not change much on the ground in Ayodhya after the Supreme Court's verdict on the Ram Janmabhoomi case and the construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya will continue.